Now at 10, the Joplin City Council issues its final statement on a petition to block a potential data center. Plus, a local ministry looks to feed the community with a donation of tons of food. And crews demolish a staple of Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The fight to force a public vote on Joplin's proposed data center site seems to be over for now after petition organizers fall thousands of signatures short of their goal. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Tonight, the Joplin City Council certifies 2 petitions opposing the project after they failed to gather enough signatures. The failed petition sought to force a public vote on the 540-acre Wildwood Ranch site at Central City Road and West 20th Street. The controversial project sparked 7 hours of public comment in January before the council initially approved the annexation and rezoning. Many residents have expressed concerns about the proposed data center on the property. That led to the Joplin Sustainable Technology Alliance starting petitions to repeal the ordinances and force a public vote instead. The group collected 2,832 signatures to repeal the annexation ordinance. That's more than 2,200 short of the required amount. A second petition to repeal the rezoning ordinance gathered 2,348 signatures, nearly 2,700 short. Both petitions are now officially ruled insufficient and will not advance to county election officials for verification. Joplin City Council also approved cooperative agreements for 2 community improvement districts tied to the Prospect Village development coming soon to the area south of 20th and Rangeline. The sports facility CID will fund construction for a 135,000 square foot indoor sports complex and outdoor fields. The Woodsonia Marketplace CID will handle property acquisition, environmental cleanup, and site preparation, including raising portions of the development out of the floodplain. The overall project includes the sports complex, a public park, retail and hotel space, and roughly 375 multifamily housing units. Both districts will use sales tax revenue and bond proceeds for funding. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints delivers 40,000 pounds of food to Crosslines Ministries in Joplin today. Volunteers unloaded 24 pallets of groceries with help from neighboring Joplin Supply Company. The donation comes from the church's Global Fast, offering program that the food from the fast get shipped from a central storage facility in Salt Lake City to communities across the country.
Crosslines is very dependent upon the donations from the community, and this is one of the bigger donations that we have received. And it means a lot as far as having the availability of food for our pantry.
Crosslines Ministries says this ranks as one of their largest donations. The food will help stock their pantry and potentially supply other food banks throughout Joplin. The organization depends heavily on community donations to serve local families in need. Some changes in the weather. Let's check in with meteorologist Austin Stantz.
Yeah, thanks, Dow. How about starting the day 27 degrees below average? We haven't heard that in a while. Now, we're going to be near record low temperatures once again today. You'll see the record 19 degrees set back in 1988. Where are temperatures sitting right now? Not far from that record. 25 degrees in Joplin right now, 23 Stockton, 23 Monette. Same for Parsons as well. So it's getting chilly out there. Wind staying out of the northwest. Getting a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Camp. It's clear, which also means that cold air is just allowed to flow in. No cloud cover to blanket us tonight. Tomorrow morning, yeah, you see that hot coffee there? That's probably what you're going to want to reach for there when we see temperatures right around 19 degrees. It's going to be very cold, so maybe you want it very hot, right? Help us get going in the morning. Coming up, we're going to go over a rare weather event that happened on Sunday. We're going to talk about the driving factors behind that near record cold and a potential incoming heat wave. Details coming up.
See you soon. The suspect in a Joplin homicide who had been considered armed and dangerous has turned himself in to authorities. Police say Andre Swindell reached out through a bail bond company to notify law officers that he wanted to peacefully surrender, then turned himself in at the Jasper County Detention Center in Carthage. Swindell is suspected in the shooting death of 27-year-old Anthony Campbell. The shooting occurred in the Joplin Bar District parking lot in the 500 block of Joplin Avenue early on the morning of February 28th. Campbell had been shot numerous times and died at the scene. Investigators say the suspect and victim knew each other. They've charged Swindell with first-degree murder. Wrecking crews are demolishing a restaurant building on Broadway in Pittsburgh after two eateries move out. Guadalajara Mexican Grill and Kizoku Sushi have vacated the Plaza Shopping Center complex across from Pittsburgh State University. Guadalajara plans to reopen at the former Jolly Fox location on South Broadway later this month. Kizoku will reopen downtown this summer at a new location on North Broadway that's still under construction. Crosslink Construction owns the property but hasn't announced redevelopment plans. Look at this. A pickup truck made an unscheduled delivery to Dollar General in Galena today. The vehicle slammed into the store on West 7th Street, pushing freezers into the aisle and bowing the wall, as you see. The people in the truck were not injured and drove away after speaking with police. The store remains temporarily closed while officials determine the extent of the damage. Rising from the past. Coming up, how a committee in the Sooner State helps commission a ship with a name not used in 85 years. But up first.
President Trump urges NATO allies to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz amid rising oil costs. I'm Erica Brown with more on the president's request and how allies are responding.
According to the White House, U.S. and Israeli strikes have hit more than 15,000 targets across Iran. And a spokesperson for U.S. Central Command says more than 200 U.S. service members have been injured across 7 countries since the start of that conflict. Erica Brown now has the latest.
President Trump continued to pressure U.S. allies Monday to assist the United States in reopening the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passageway for oil tankers transporting about a fifth of the global crude oil supply.
We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the strait. They should be in here very happily helping us.
Several nations, including Spain, Italy, and Germany, rebuffed the president's request.
We can't be at every place to support a war which we didn't start it.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer was also apprehensive.
While taking the necessary action to defend ourselves and our allies, we will not be drawn into the wider war.
Iranian officials said the strait is only closed to enemies, and in an interview with Sky News, Iran's deputy foreign minister warned the U.S. against deploying boots on the ground.
Even suggesting that a foreign country can put boots on the ground of another country, invade another country, occupy the land of another country, is something very much rogue, very reckless.
Now, President Trump has warned NATO could face consequences if member nations refuse to help reopen the strait. And he's urging other countries like China to get involved, although he's pushing to delay a summit with China's president due to the war.
We're speaking to China. I'd love to, but because of the war, I want to be here. I have to be here.
Iran continues to attack U.S. allies and partners in the region with drone and missile strikes, including an attack on the airport in Dubai over the weekend. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
The Miami American Legion Post 147 and Military Museum presented a $2,500 donation to the USS Oklahoma Commissioning Committee. After the USS Oklahoma sunk at Pearl Harbor, no new ship took on the Oklahoma name until plans for a new ship, SSN 802, were announced in 2019. The committee's chairman, Rocky Goins, was on hand for the presentation.
I just want recognition, understanding by the people of Oklahoma, by the people up here in Ottawa County, just to know that, hey, they are part of the fight. They are represented in Maine and by
what the commissioning committee does. So I want to,
the ship is expected to be christened in the spring of 2027 before being commissioned in the summer of 2028. An Arkansas law that required the 10 Commandments to be displayed in every public school classroom has been blocked. Act 573 was amended last year. It mandated that all public school classrooms in the state display the Ten Commandments derived from the Protestant King James Bible. Well, now a federal court has permanently blocked that law, ruling it violates the First Amendment rights of students and parents. Groups, including the ACLU of Arkansas, represented the plaintiffs in the lawsuit, multi-faith families who have children in the public schools. 6 districts were listed as defendants. The Arkansas ACLU supported the court's ruling, saying state public schools should not impose, quote, religious doctrine onto students, end quote. USA Today reports the state, via its attorney general, plans to appeal. A little later, job centers in 3 states team up in Joplin to offer employment opportunities.
And near record cold temperatures tonight. How about near record warmth for next week? Details coming up.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Well, on Sunday, we had some residents in the area that were saying, hey, that warning looks a little different. A snow squall warning? What's a snow squall? Well, a snow squall is a heavy band of snow, usually ends up falling at rates very quickly and heavy, an inch or more per hour. There's gusty winds associated with that and quick dropping temperatures as a front is usually passing as well. This causes significantly reduced visibility, causing hazardous conditions on the roadways, and you don't want to be caught out in that. Now, the National Weather Service began issuing these warnings back in 2018, so still relatively new, and specifically on November 1st of 2018. Now, the most common areas that these are issued in are near the Great Lakes or the Northeast. Now, how rare is it to see one in this area? Well, it was the first one that was ever issued for Jasper and the surrounding counties. So you typically don't see that too often. So yes, a historic weather event, while minor, still affected us for a time being. Taking a look outside right now, no snow to be found. 30-second in range line thanks to our MoDOT Department of Transportation cameras. But as we look outside this evening, even though there's no snow, it is still below freezing. 25 degrees, feels like 19. How about these dew points at 5 degrees? That means there's like very little to no moisture in the air. It's very dry. I know the skin on my hands has been feeling that today. Now, you'll notice the winds are significantly calmer, around 5 miles per hour out of the west right now. That's good news. Here we are headed into this evening. Temperatures already falling into the 20s. As we saw, we'll be in the low 20s by the time we start to hit these overnight hours and then into the upper teens tonight. 19 degrees is where we'll be. With the wind chill out there, well, let's talk about that because that's kind of a driving factor that we've seen over the past 24 hours. But the good news is winds staying calm throughout the late evening and overnight tonight, gusting maybe 5-10 miles per hour at times. It still will play a part in the wind chill, but definitely not as significant as it was just 24 hours ago. So areas like Stockton still around 10 degrees. Nevada 10 degrees is what it's going to feel like tomorrow morning. Mount Vernon single digits there at 9. Chautauqua 18. So yeah, it's going to be a cool start for us. But the good news is the warm up is on the way and it starts tomorrow, St. Patty's Day, 52 degrees. There's even better news though. The warm up doesn't stop there. We have this ridge, massive, begins to move in. High pressure is going to dominate for the next several days as that continues to push east. So here's Wednesday. Look at by noon on Wednesday. We're already at 63. Plenty of sunshine. 73 by 4 o'clock here in Joplin. Hey, that's not a hard way to start the middle part of the week. Then we take a look. The warm-up doesn't stop there. Thursday, 81. 83 on Friday. 85 on Saturday. There's some data suggesting we could even push close to 90. That could have us competing with some records. Now we look at later in the week, we're down to 70 by Sunday, 56 Monday. These, yes, this is a cool down, but it's still around average. So we stay near or above average for the next 10 to 12 days.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday, they look really nice.
Sure does.
Get outside, thanks. Hey, kids looking for fun this spring break can search the Pittsburgh Public Library. The library's Youth Service Department is hosting a medieval-themed scavenger hunt through Friday to celebrate spring break. The Royal Scavenger Hunt, as it's called, will take place on the first floor of the library during regular hours. Prizes fit for royalty will be available upon completion. Still ahead, the Chiefs are still working the phones deep in the offseason. Zach Petrick has details about that and more up next in sports.
The NFL is deep in the offseason, but that doesn't mean things aren't happening around the league. Just today, the Chiefs made another move in an attempt to reach the pinnacle yet again. The Chiefs and Jets have agreed to a deal that sends quarterback Justin Fields to KC for a 6th-round pick in 2027. Fields was the Jets starter to open last season before getting injured and eventually benched. He had 9 total touchdowns, 7 of them through the air, and just a single interception. Fields does have some major flaws. He has one of the slowest times from snap to throw in the league, which leads to more sacks and why he has not stuck with a single team so far in his career. It is part of the reason his interception total was so low last season. On the upside, he is incredibly athletic and can take off and run at any given moment. He will be the Chiefs' backup to Patrick Mahomes and may open the season as the starter, depending on Mahomes' recovery from injury. This is a low-risk, high-reward trade for Andy Reid and Brett Veach. Yesterday, before the selections got underway for the NCAA tournament, the Arkansas Razorbacks did something they haven't done in over 25 years. For the first time since 2000, and just the second time in program history, the Razorbacks are Southeastern Conference Tournament champions after an 86-75 win over Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee at Bridgestone Arena on Sunday afternoon. The Razorbacks took down the Nashville native team Vanderbilt with a dominant second half. They shot 50% from the field after the break, including making 8 of 14 three-point attempts while holding Vandy to just 31% shooting. Arkansas is now 2-6 all-time in SEC championship games, 15-12 in Bridgestone Arena, and they are a 4 seed in the tournament, and they will face Hawaii on Thursday in Portland, Oregon. The MIAA announced its weekly awards today. Missouri Southern and Pitt State filled up the stat sheets all weekend, leading to multiple awards here in the 4 states. Heather Arnett picked up Hitter of the Week for the second straight week after recording 7 hits and 15 at-bats over the weekend. She is batting .571 this season with 60 hits and 105 at-bats, helping lift the Gorillas to a 26-1 record so far. In Joplin, Lions pitcher Emily Davis took home Pitcher of the Week after going 2-0 over the weekend and pitching to a 0.6 ERA. She tallied 11 strikeouts in 11.2 innings of work. Batters hit just .171 against her this past weekend. On the baseball diamond, MSSU's Owen Schneider was also named Pitcher of the Week. The redshirt junior pitched 7.2 innings, allowing just 1 earned run on 2 hits with a season-best 7 strikeouts in Missouri Southern's series opening win against Washburn. That was 9-3. Staying with the Lions, Ethan Clark notched his 250th hit over the weekend. This milestone etches him 4th all-time on MSSU's list. Clark is hitting .293 this year, a dip from his career average of .340.
March Madness is about to begin.
It is exciting time. Yeah, I love March Madness.
Have you filled out a bracket?
I have. I did it right away last night after the bracket was released.
I rarely do because I like to pull for underdogs, generally speaking, and of course, they usually don't win. That's why they're underdogs.
I do have Arkansas going far, and so some people around here will be happy about that.
Yeah, a lot of Hog fans for sure. We'll be right back. The film One Battle After Another won Best Picture at Sunday's 98th Academy Awards, and stars like Michael B. Jordan and Sean Penn also took home Oscars. Bradley Blackburn has a recap of Hollywood's biggest night.
Before some of Hollywood's biggest stars, Conan O'Brien seized the crown, returning to the Oscars stage as host for the 2nd year in a row. Real Oscars flew into the hands of stars like Jessie Buckley, who won Best Actress for her role in Hamnet.
I would like to dedicate this to the beautiful chaos of a mother's heart.
Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor for his dual roles in Sinners, his first Academy Award.
I stand here because of the people that came before me. Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx.
Sean Penn, notably absent from the ceremony, won Best Supporting Actor for his role in One Battle After Another. The film also received top awards for Best Picture and Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson. K-pop Demon Hunters Golden got the gold statue for Best Original Song. History was also made as Sinners' Autumn Durald Arkapaw became the first woman to win the Oscar in cinematography. While a rousing performance of I Lied to You from Sinners featured ballet star Misty Copeland. The late Rob Reiner was honored by a stage full of stars led by Billy Crystal.
My friends, Rob's movies will last for lifetimes.
And Barbra Streisand offered a rare performance for the late Robert Redford, her co-star in The Way We Were.
Oh yes, the way we were.
Generations of stars glittering on one big night. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
It was also a significant night for CBS News' Steve Hartman. The film All the Empty Rooms, featuring his reporting on children killed in school shootings, received an Oscar for Best Documentary Short. I actually watched some of the Academy Awards last night. I normally don't, but yeah, it was kind of fun there at the end. The weather changing quite a bit this coming days.
Yeah, there's some big changes on the way, and a lot of you might be happy about it. Back into the 50s tomorrow for St. Patty's Day, then into the 70s. Plenty of sunshine on Wednesday. How about those 80s? It's looking pretty good out there. We'll take that, right?
Absolutely. It'll be a nice change from tonight for sure. Final sports note.
World Baseball Classic final is set. Venezuela beat Italy tonight, so Venezuela and USA tomorrow night. That will be an absolute blast. One of my favorite players in the league on the mound for the United States tomorrow, Nolan McLean, Mets rookie.
All right, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about that tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great St. Patrick's Day.